Hello. So today I'm going to be demo reviewing our sad playoff first round exit for Bungalow Alert. We were actually the number one seed going in. We were 15-1 in the regular season, uh, and then we lose in the playoffs. So the question has to be asked: how exactly does that happen? So we're gonna look at some TF2 gameplay and see if we can figure out what exactly was going on. So let me switch over to TF2. If it'll switch, there we go. Also, I am a little sick right now, so hopefully it won't be too big of an issue. So there were two maps we played. We did Bagel and then Product. Bagel was our map pick because we had beaten this team on Bagel previously, and we were like, okay, I'm pretty confident that we can beat them on this. And Bagel was also essentially our best map next to Metalworks. They're kind of in the same tier, but we felt slightly better about Bagel just because we had really good coordination, our strategy. It really felt like we understood the map. One thing to mention, I don't know if it affected the Bagel, but the servers were a bit wacky going into this night of matches. So there might be some pauses here and there. Okay, so we're on red. Let's see how we take this. It's been about a month, so I honestly don't even remember what happened for most of the part. Generally, the first mid, we try to feel it out, kind of just relax a bit, see how much space we're given. You can see Macron and Trees tried to do a push in the left house over there, but they're still pretty hurt. And then Turnip dies. So one thing that happened with Turnip right there is he kind of got spammed by the demo right as I had to turn to arrow Trees and like Macron. So it's something the entire team has to be aware of, like how hurt are people other than you, especially for combo players, because if other people are hurt, the heals are going to be diverting from you. That's especially true on Bagel because you just get spammed so easily on the point. And at this point, we're just out completely. We lost both Turnip and Andrew, so Macron tries going for a play. Trees dies really late there. I don't think he should have died there. And then if Newt dies here, that's also very bad. So these are just like essentially feeds. People got caught out of position. And now like we have to wait a little extra amount of time for to get Newt. Like if we had another soldier here that was able to bomb on their demo, this would be so good. And now we're taking an Uber to break the forward hold, but we're already down 2. Newt's still rolling out. He's over here. Like, this probably isn't going to go well. But luckily we escaped. So now there's no Ubers in play. That was actually our plan. Since without Ubers, that it's good to get those Ubers out of the way while our players are down rather than just backing up, spending that time doing nothing, and then having an Uber exchange here, which is just more time off the clock for them. And we've already given them a minute, so we have to be very careful. So we're trying to get aggressive on point, find picks, and make something happen, because when you don't own the point, that's what you have to do. You have to make something happen. We find the scout pick, but unfortunately both of our scouts kind of get decimated, and then I'm all alone, but luckily I can survive. Basically everyone landed on the point, like at the same spot, and we found our pick, yeah, but then that makes us really easy to shoot. and both of our scouts got killed. And I guess I wasn't exactly on the same page because I wasn't as forward with the rest of my team. Oh man. And that time I felt like we just kind of rushed, like, breaking this. Because we're down on so much time, so our whole team is like, we gotta keep going. It's possible we could have taken that a little better. Alright, so now what's the play? Now, Turnip and I, we're gonna try to bait the point, get as much cap time as we can. And we don't want to use our Uber here because we have so much cap time. We want to cap the point and then be able to take that exchange and use the Uber on our side. I get forced though because I'm 20 health. I guess I caught a pipe or something and then a scout ran at me. And I just run forward with Turnip to try to get the force, but we don't get that force. Scouts went behind. Like, I don't exactly know what happened there. But this is a really bad situation for us. This is pretty much just an insta-lose right here. Especially because we didn't deny the point at all. It's tough. And they just use their Uber. They get our demo. They're just going to recap here. We lose too, but we're certainly going to try. Basically, what Turnip is trying to do right here is delay the point as long as possible for our spawners to get up. And then I die to a roller. Yeah, so the main thing I saw in that round was that we kind of were just rushing things, which it's important to go fast in King of the Hill so you don't give that time. But the problem is if you go too fast, it ends up being sloppy, and then you end up giving them more time than if you had slowed down at all. Alright, so one of our strategies during Bagel Week was just if you're more aggressive than the other team on this map, generally you'll win. So you'll start to see a lot of like soldier bombs and us just like going across the point. Okay. Oh, it's crazy that that scout doesn't die. Okay, I just got piped there. That's a really bad death from me. So now it's full disad, so we have to do a sack wave. The old 4-man. Luckily, we are able to get through left. They're not really forward holding as much as they could be. And they're very passive. Trees dies to a trap, which is really unfortunate before the 4-man. But we get the force out. So that's what you want to see. And does Macron get a trade? Oh, unlucky. He got the scout low, but a soldier came to help him. So now we have advantage. So our idea with this is if they're caught, we can use into them. Otherwise, we want to be able to milk our Uber and get the point for free. Breaking the forward hold, though, it's especially hard to. So we just decide, hey, if they're close enough to be forward holding, they're probably close enough to be caught by an Uber. So that's why we take it through. But we don't really get anything with it. And there's a guy behind. And then I just get caught in main. I get juggled straight up here and die an unfortunate death. It seemed like we really didn't have anything like planned. We took our Uber, didn't really get anything, and then we like backed up to here. But we just kind of got caught in a transition there. We needed more of a plan on like if we were taking a fight or if we were actually just full on leaving. Which there was a window of opportunity to take a fight. But I think we were scared of the Uber. So here's another sack wave coming out, and Macron hits the big air shot. Ends up getting the drop. Alright, so this will be pretty big ad here. But I remember this one. This one's very unfortunate. Yeah, no one checks the hiding spot right here. At that moment, that one was really like demoralizing. We were all like, oh, come on, guys. Because that's just like a rookie mistake, not checking a hiding spot. And now it's just like a rushed 4-man, like people are on different pages. Like you can really tell at this point that we are straight up just like panicking. Especially we capped the point during that time, so both our soldiers get extended spawns. All around the last like a minute has been horrible. And that scout's surviving with 1 HP. And we're so scared of the Uber, we just let them recap. Oh my god. And then Macron is like a second early. He gets the force. Turnip dies for it as well though. But like, look how separated we are. We're not taking the same fights at all. Like, Nanu isolated himself. He got the kill, but like, if he had died there, it would have been really bad for us. And that Uber, we saw they were caught. We were like, if we kill their medic here, this will be really good for us. Because then we can just stabilize, and that'll buy us like 20 seconds of time. And we end up trading out a few players, but we got the med. I lived. This is a good spot for us to be in. We're down so much time, though, that it's still going to be so difficult. And they have better spawns than us. Macron does a really good bomb onto the point, trying to deny it super hard, but I'm playing it so passively because I don't want to die. And because Macron is standing on the point here, a scout's just able to run through here. Thankfully, he's not able to kill me, but you'll see that's a recurring theme, which I'll talk about on the next half. So that time, again, they did a sack wave. It didn't really work, and we've gotten a minute off of this, so that's why we really love that play of just like getting the medic just to stabilize, and even if we trade out some people, we're still getting a bunch of time off of it. Here the exchange comes out on the point. I'm trying to save everyone. It's going to be really hard. Turnip gets a bit too far. He's lucky he doesn't get picked off. Our flank dies to something, our left house flank. So now we're down a player. Going to be very difficult. And then we just get picked off because they just have so much better like focus fires and point presence than us. So we're down 2-0. Let me pull up the logs so I can show you guys a bit what we saw with this. Okay, so right away, you're gonna see mouse cake, 12 and 1, yeah, 489 like DPM. Totally didn't mess up. That's just pretty crazy. This whole one. And Andrew, he's usually our carry. He's only 4 and 5. The logs covering. He has 366, which is the best on our team by far. Okay, so but the main things that we wanted to do when you have a carry second half, like that, you really want focus mouse cake on this mid. So you'll notice we have a lot of central. Another thing we thought about was that I was dying too much at inopportune times. I think there were times I was dying at inopportune times, but so for me, what we're trying to do is stay healthy and be ready to bomb across. But you see, I definitely thought the biggest issue was mouse cake. That's when these two pop out of the corner, and I see them like right away. And so I'm like backing up from them, but what I should be doing here would open up a lot more opportunities for like the rest of our team. And committing with my team. Like especially if you look at Turnip's
had just
enough
enough
space, 3 and 8
to live.
190.
So then our entire
DPM,
team
like
turns
he's
around.
actually
So
just
we
getting
lose all of that
destroyed
initial
by Mouse
aggression
Cake.
we had,
and that's
I
always
still
going to be so
die.
difficult. So if we can
We
open
don't
up
even
some more
get their
space
med
for
or
Andrew
Mouse
and
Cake,
Turnip,
so
that'll allow them
this
to
is
do what
essentially
they do
the
best, form
worst
the other
outcome
team,
of this mid.
and then we'll go from there.
And then we're doing this weird like triple sack to try to kill their medic, but it's just so late. It's just better to just like heal up and have an actual good foreman. Okay, so now we're on disads. So here we see their demos spamming this super hard. So we're like, okay, let's ignore that completely and rotate over. But you'll notice this is a recurring theme that happens. Remember on the mid, we went across the point and they got through the flank. Well, look over here, Kutch over here. He's about to get through the flank and he kills me. So one of the problems was Mouse Cake, the other was me dying that we thought we needed to adjust. And after the fact we were talking and we were realizing that me dying wasn't so much the problem, but it was a symptom of the problem. And that problem was just our flank being left open and us just not being cognizant or aware of that enough. So now we do a sack wave, get the force out. That's good, but we're down a minute and a half here in cap time. It's gonna be pretty difficult to work this one out. Thankfully, we did cap the point during that time. So now we capped the point in that, so then we were just expecting the sack wave. But you could see me at the beginning. I was right here. I'll actually rewind to show a point about how easy it is to be caught on this map on a sack wave as medic. Oh, okay. I did not go back far enough. Let's go to 10,000. So we're expecting the foreman. So I'm baiting right here. But if you're too far at the front of these stairs, you're caught because you just get juggled in this doorway. So I just decide to try to back up right, but I take a direct rocket and miss my surf, and there's not really much that can be done after that. So I just die. Really unfortunate. I probably should have been at the top of these stairs because the front of these stairs is caught. Back of these stairs, that's where you gotta be. But now we're at full disad, on big time disad. We need to get a force here. Alright, so you'll see the sack wave come out here in a second. Any second now. You can hear Macron opening up the voice chat, saying we should turn this into a four-man, and we do, and here it is, and we get their medic. Perfectly timed. Only needed to send 2 people for it. Probably should have sent a little more, but I don't think our soldiers were quite ready for it. Newt here dies a little late because he was trying to four-man, but after we got the kill, he tried to live. But it's fine. He ends up living. And now we're getting good cap time. They're very passive. We know they are going to be doing that sack wave again. So you can see this time, I'm at the top of the stairs. I'm very ready for it this time. We'll see if it works. See, that soldier comes in. I just back up. This scout almost kills me. It's fine. But we end up surviving the four-man. In surviving that four-man, it just gives you so much time. It's going to give you like 15, 20 seconds of time. assuming the other team goes at a reasonable pace. So now what we're trying to do is just delay as long as possible, and not let them cap. We decide to take the exchange, get the Ubers out of the way, because during the Uber, that's 8 seconds of cap time that the point's just not being capped. So we're using this time very effectively to just nibble down that cap time. But you'll notice Newt died during the Uber. He got a trade with Rico. But Kutch here, he realized, hey, if Newt is dead, that means that this flank is wide open. So he comes over and he focuses me after the Uber, and he's able to get the kill. And while the rest of the team is like, oh no, we can't let our medic die, they turn around, the second soldier comes in, and they just walk across the point and just clean us up. So that was really good coordination from them, recognizing that this flank would be wide open. And there wasn't really much we could do about it. All right, we send a sack wave and we get their medic actually out of it in pretty good cap time. But you'll see, scout's coming. Unfortunately, can't kill this scout. So me dying there when they're about to cap, we have overtime, so we're not in quite a bit as much of a panic. But if I had Uber here, this would make this a whole lot easier to take. So now we're on disad. You never really want to be on disad when the enemy's on overtime 0-0, because they're just able to use their Uber across the point. You're forced to back up to respect that Uber, otherwise they'll kill you, and they can just cap behind their Uber. So we're like, okay, we can't let them do that. So we send 2 soldiers in here to get this kill here. And it's not really worth it because trees died as well. So we're losing 3 for the medic. That's not worth it. See, they just kill us because they just have so much more firepower than we do. Turnip and I are like, we're trying our best to live here, but it just wasn't worth it, especially because like they weren't even that close to Uber. We didn't have to rush that. We could have gotten some more time. So there was only 1 round there. There was another round that we played that we lost, but I couldn't quite find the demo for that one, unfortunately. But yeah. Actually, I think the other round we might have gotten around. I don't quite remember what the score was. It might have been 4-1. It was either 4-1 or like 4-0 or maybe 4-2. I don't know. But regardless, we lost it. So we're just like, man, we just lost on like our map pick, and it was Koth too, and the next map is also Koth. A Koth that we think we're worse at. Going into the second half, we were like, or the second map, we were like, all right, well, let's just forget about the first map, go into the second one, and hopefully we'll be able to ink out a win, and then we'll be able to go over to Metalworks, map 3. Let's see what happens next. Okay. So, was there anything in the second? Second half logs, I will say, for that one match. I did die 6 times. Their med died 3 times. So that was kind of one of those moments where, like, man, okay, maybe my death actually is becoming a problem. So we really tried to emphasize me living on this next one. We might not have demos from the first one because the server crashed. I think that's probably what the problem is. And this demo's, yeah, the first file was just an easy win. So at this point, I think we're actually 1-1 or 2-1. And we're just playing it out here. So we're still doing our strategy of focusing down Mouse Cake, trying to not give their demo as much space as we can. We ended up losing both of our soldiers for it. So we're like, okay, we got a demo and a soldier for 2 soldiers. This is actually pretty good for us. So let's just chill, everyone play together, focus down some people. And we end up getting a soldier that feeds into us. So this is really good for us. We should be able to push back in here, take a lot of space, and we're just kind of chilling here. Get as much cap time as you can. One difference between Product and Bagel is that Product, it takes a bit longer to cap the point. So you're not going to see as much like trading of the point. And I'm very hurt here, so whenever I get hurt, I'm like, okay, let's either like take an Uber or I'm playing extremely passive. And we're doing a pretty good job at cycling out and trying to like focus them. We're able to get 30 seconds of cap time there, even though we're essentially fighting that entire time. Because they didn't really like do anything. They just tried baiting out the point, which they were doing very well at. And Macron ended up getting caught like trying to kill the guy on point, I believe. So at this point, we're like, hey, they have a ton of cap time. Let's take an exchange, get the Ubers out. But Turnip has a really good call here where he walks forward, sees they're so far back. He's like, we don't need to exchange just yet. So we're getting even more time on this. You always want to try to delay this exchange as long as possible. Get as much cap time. And they end up having to be the ones to initiate the exchange because they're like, okay, we need to make something happen. We're just sitting back and losing cap time. So we're doing a really good job focusing down the people that touch the point and trying to not let them cap. But unfortunately during that, Macron ended up dying on the point. So that makes it a lot easier for them to just walk up to the point and cap, especially just because they had so much cap time to begin with. So here we get another pause. I'm not sure why. But basically, the entire product was basically just like horrible, horrible stuff. Alright, here we go. It was pauses, server crashes. Like, everything was going wrong. We do a double bomb. Do we get anything? Good damage on different people. Our soldiers are shooting different targets. Our scouts are dealing with their bombs. So 3 for 4 trades, slightly not in our favor. I backed out super early because I just thought it was bad for us. And remember, I'm really trying to prioritize my life on this one. So now they own the point. We have to make something happen. So we're getting pretty aggressive, trying to take space, bait people into us, get cap time, and I barely get the Uber in time here. I remember this. But hey, we capped during that. Ubers are out of the way. So now it's just try to deny that point. keep spamming the people that stand here. Macron shouldn't die there. He should just be fading on that guy. He shouldn't be landing in their face. And then out of nowhere comes Kutch to kill me. And my scouts are both like in the worst spot possible to be denying this bomb. Because I think Turnip like wanted to go help against Rico, but like Andrew and I were just left on our own here, and Kutch takes advantage of that. Rico probably called like both their scouts are looking at me, like bomb or something like that, and it works out. And now we're down. Newt tries going for a miracle play, gets the medic solo, but isn't able to clean him up. And now we're just going to be down 2 here, so we're just forced to give it up. Which, it's actually kind of fine for us, because we're ahead in time, so we're like, okay, we have time to do a sack play if we need to. And here it comes. And we get the force. And Turnip and I were happily in spawn. So we're going to have ad here. We still have a time advantage. So at this point, our strategy is kind of just, hey, we can keep leapfrogging and switching the cap time. And as long as we keep doing that, eventually we'll win because we're ahead on time. But first, let's break the forward hold. So how do we do it? Do we use the Uber? That's right, because we are leapfrog pilled. And we end up getting their medic. So as long as we bait a Turnip there and just completely back up, because we're like, hey, we don't want me to die, like we're just chilling here, but then we just get mulched because we're just like caught on low ground here. In hindsight, I think we should have kept going. I don't think we should have backed up. I think they were in really bad spots here. We should have just killed them. And now we are behind in time. So this whole leapfrog theory kind of didn't work out for us because we died so late here and we never actually capped the point. In order to leapfrog, you have to get firm control over the point. But we got their medic, so we were too passive. Coming in now, though, they are just going to be backing up because we get some good kills, and they're like, okay, let's preserve our Uber. So now I'm getting ready to leave on disad. We'll see what happens. Here the Uber comes out. I'm just running, kiting main. I end up surviving. Or do I? I do. But there's 5 seconds. We have to run to the point. I don't think we're going to be able to make it in time. Unlucky. So really, instead of kiting all of the way to spawn there, we needed to immediately like do a rotation. I think I remember that one, and I think, at least for me, I didn't realize how low their cap time was. So here the double bomb comes out. We're like, all right, let's just kill their medic, kill their demo, kill whatever we can, and we get nothing with our bombs. We kill their soldiers. They get our demo, so it's kind of just a lost fight. But thankfully I live, so it's not the end of the world. TF2 players just poking and prodding at each other. Trees gets hit by a big rocket, which is a little unfortunate. And Newt dies somehow. I didn't really see how he died. And then Macron died as well. So when we're bleeding players like that, it makes it really hard for like us to do anything. especially because I got so hurt by something, I just ran all the way back to spawn, and then Turnip and Andrew died. And that's just going to give them so much time. It's essentially like we did a sack wave and didn't get anything because people just died. So now we're having Trees do an Uber. Trees is actually really good about telling me to milk it enough, but I get launched straight up into the air there by some stickies, which is really unfortunate because Mousecake just laid them behind on the Uber. So that's the problem. If you're milking in so deep, it's a lot harder to get out. And at this point, we're like, okay, we're down a minute. Like, are we able to get their med? Oh, he's baiting so hard. Let's just get the point. But then we're not even able to get the point because they do a really good job at rotating here fast enough to get the point. If Macron had lived, we might have been able to turn it into a sack wave when they came back, but he had died. All right, 2 for 2 trade. Is Trees able to get the kill? Unfortunately, he's not. But we own the point. We're at big time disad again. So we're just like, all right, what do we do here? Andrew gets a really good trap kill on their scout, so that opens up the door for our bombs to come in. And at the same time, they sent a bomb in on us. I just backed up because I am playing my life. We clean up those kills, and we're kind of chilling. We got a drop on their medic, and we were able to preserve our life. So you can't ask for more than that. And we are so passive because we're expecting the sack wave, and then we see, hey, they're on point, so Turnip calls this Uber, but we're not able to get anything. But they're only at 40%. By the time they get Uber, we'll have equalized the time, and potentially we'll be able to turn it into our leapfrog theory. And especially because we were able to turn this into a forward hold here, like, it just buys us a little bit of time. Unfortunately, we never really learned how to deal with the pyro out of the forward hold, so we're like just like S-king trying to get out of here so much, and they ended up just like walking forward, taking the point just for a pyro trade. And then Andrew gets a force all by himself. I guess I don't really know what happened there. Newt dies really late. That's also been a recurring theme, just people dying at really bad times, whether it's me or just like someone else getting caught. So here we're like, all right, let's take an aggressive Uber just so we can confirm, get the point. We wanted Trees to cap behind this Uber, but it seemed to... Okay, he wasn't quite in position to cap during it, and then I died somehow on the way out. I actually want to see how I died. Because me dying there is something that should never happen. Alright, Uber comes out. Okay, so, okay, I remember this one actually. Turnip chased over here, and I was like ready to back up, but I saw Turnip was still forward, so I wanted to stay with him, so I hesitated, went forward to like give him an extra flash instead of backing up, and then when I finally backed up, there was just a soldier ready to collapse on me. So we just weren't on the same page on how much we were chasing there. But my death is insanely bad because it's full disad. Luckily they probably had an opening to not use there, But they feed their demo to kill me, so they're gonna be getting at least like 15 more seconds out of this. And now it's kind of just like chaos fighting. Oh, Turnip, that guy was so hurt, and so is the other soldier. And the scout. Turnip actually like could have killed all 3 of these players if he hit all his shots. Unfortunate. That would have been a hero play. But now it's essentially just a dry fight. Don't die to the traps. Take it fast. Don't give them too much cap time, and we win. Well, it'll still be tough, but we can certainly try. 1-for-1 trade between our soldiers. Turnip gets caught. There's a scout behind that we're all like worried about. And then a soldier just bombs and kills me. Like, I felt like the entire night that soldiers were just able to get on to me for free. And generally that's like whenever Turnip like if Turnip's looking for the soldiers, it's perfectly fine. He denies them. But if he dies or like turns his head for a second, we lose that. Yeah, so we lost 2 rounds there. Let's go into the final one. Not really much from the demos that are really important to, or not the demos, the logs that are really important to look at. But the main theme there was like, I'm dying because of a late soldier bomb during the fights. And when we're going forward, like, we're not really, I feel like it's not a simple fix. We're just like losing track of the people that get behind us when we go forward, and those are the people that pick me off. So at this moment, I was like pretty frustrated because I felt like there wasn't really much that I could adjust. I just thought like they were outplaying us. But it's just all about the timings of when we're going for things. And like their soldiers are just able to do that better than us. All right, 2 soldiers come in. The soldiers take forever to die. One of them's actually still alive. I die. We're not even cleaning up like these kills. The fact that they're able to bomb 2 soldiers there and have 1 scout like just walking forward, and they get 3 kills out of it, our demo and our med. Like, that shouldn't happen. Those soldiers need to be denied, or we need like something to counter them and get more value on our side. So Newt dies here. I think we're doing a sack wave here. Yeah, that was a sack wave, but it was a little bit separated on who we were fighting. Like Turnip was like trying to help Newt, but then heard the sack wave call, so he went forward. So then Newt was in a 1v1, and like, I don't know, it was just kind of separated. At this point, we're just really trying to make things happen. It's so difficult for us. They get a way better Uber than us. I'm like, I'm not getting caught by this shit. So I'm so passive. We have no presence. Post exchange, post exchange, you just like want to have something happen, but we were like running in our post exchange, so you're never gonna get the point if you're not actually initiating off of that exchange. And another thing was that late soldier came in. Thankfully he wasn't able to kill me, but I don't know if we were able to recognize that it was just always a late soldier. And then they do a 4-man timing here, which I personally thought was a little crazy. But I guess their reasoning was that they had so much time advantage that it's kind of just a free 4-man there. And especially because like they're still set up right as they get Uber, so the 4-man was like really good timing on their part. Somehow their medic dies to a trap, or not a trap, a bomb, like spam, and thankfully I'm able to survive the 4-man with 30 health. And we turn it into a forward. So we're forward holding, we have full ad. This should convert into a ton of time, but we just give it up because they have a pyro. We have no idea how to deal with the pyro. And then our flank gets shoved. That soldier takes a long time to die, so both of our soldiers are over there all week. Like, it feels like the game is in their control. Like, they're the ones making the plays. They're the one dictating like the rate at which things go. And we're like trying to slow things down and regain momentum. But it's tough for us. Thankfully, like, we're able to clean up that the flank shove, and that gives us some time. But they do a crazy ass sack wave here, which I'm just like, oh, we're also grouped up. I just want to save players. And I almost die, actually. And we're like, that's fine if we use there, because even though we're at disad, it's going to give us 20 seconds. And every second matters on Koth. It seems that their team definitely just preferred having ad most of the time, which is why they were just focusing me late in the fight when people would be distracted. So I'm so passive. They recognize how passive I am. Yeah, okay. So this is actually like really good from us. They see, oh, their medic is so passive we don't have to use, but they see like this scout still here, so like, hey, let's scare them off so we really don't have to use. But we recognize like, hey, that's right as they're all like walking up on point. We call our bomb to land on them during that timing, and we get the drop out of it. And essentially a team wipe. Rip trees. All right. So overall big like misplay from them. Doing that sack wave on when they had ad, or maybe it was even, I don't quite remember. But doing that sack wave so late, like, I don't think it was that good. And then like, you don't need to greed for this. You know that we're going to be sending in that sack wave, so their medic needs to be playing a little more passive, ready for it. It's possible, hey, maybe they did want to take that Uber, but I don't think that was a good Uber to go for regardless. And then I try to commit across the point, just get bombed by a single soldier. It's always what it is. When people are distracted, that single soldier just comes late, bombs me, gets the kill, and then it's over. Thankfully, we like kind of win the mid. This scout's over here. We should be able to clean this guy up, right? Okay. Getting good damage. They actually are the ones that get all the cap time. We spent so much time dealing with that scout, I think, that they were just able to get like all the positioning. And then there's like this weird fight on our flank. Andrew and I were all alone here, just kind of like relaxing. And then they crits. And I was at 96%. That one was really unfortunate. I remember that happening. Because it was like right as I rotated. If I had been back here during it, there's a chance I could like duck into the house or like dodge it. But if it's right as I rotate to heal my scout that's trying to bait the point, it becomes a little difficult to dodge the crits. We needed to recognize that their demo was just walking forward and like call it a little sooner. Even then, it probably still would have worked. And they just focused down our scouts so well on the point. And like Macron and Newt try to come in and like help and follow up on some of the damage, but it just doesn't work. And then Andrew dies late as well. But thankfully I lived, so this is just only going to be slight disad because I wasn't healing. And they're forward holding, so how do we break it? We just decide to bomb 2 soldiers through. But that's not the right way to break it. Yeah, so I don't know why we didn't run a pyro. We had talked about this like every time, just default run a pyro on it, but for whatever reason we chose not to have one. And then like a scout just runs at me while everyone's looking forward and gets the kill. Like, if you want a textbook on how not to break a forward hold, that is it right there. Because it's just so easy for the soldiers just to get juggled in that doorway. Andrew's bombing because he's really trying to like create space. And then we try to do a 4-man, but look how baity their medic is. Somehow Trees is able to get the drop. Like, that's a miracle. Their medic was starting the 4-man all the way back here. And we bombed from our side and then like just walked up. Absolute miracle we're able to get the force there, or the drop. And now will their 4-man come in? Here it comes. You can see I'm so baity as well. I have no idea where anyone is. But we're just giving them so much cap time. Like, we get to keep the Uber, but at what cost, you know? If it's for 30 seconds of time for them, is it worth it? Alright, we've been pretty good about forcing them to take the exchange. We'll see what happens this time. Yeah, they come in first. We're able to milk pretty well, get some good time off the clock. But we're still down. They have to initiate stuff here. And that soldier, dude, in-house, that's crazy. Ends up killing me. Like, someone needs to be dealing with that guy behind. I'm actually... I don't know if he killed Macron or not. And that's why, like, he wasn't dealt with. I want to see. So, this is after the Uber. Remember what I said about post-Uber exchanges. If you don't own the point, you have to make something happen. Otherwise, you're never going to be able to get the point. So, they try to bomb their soldiers. So, Kuch comes in here. I thought he would be dealt with by Macron. Oh, but he ends up jumping and like sinking with Macron's rocket. Ends up landing here. And he just finds me. Oh, that is so unfortunate. And he got Andrew as well. Like that's so unfortunate.
Mission ends in 30 seconds.
And I think Macron didn't deal with him because he saw like other people coming and getting on us. So he's like, I gotta stop him from walking forward, which I totally like don't think that's his fault there. I kind of agree with him. It's just so unfortunate that Kutch was able to survive there. So here we're just like trying to do ultra aggression. Thankfully we're able to trade out that soldier. But I died. How did I die? Oh, brother. I'm just dead at the end of every single fight. It's just a scout behind me. And then I die to a spam rocket from Connector. Dude. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well. This game was certainly cursed. I'll just say that much. Wow, that's so sad. So now this is a situation I said you don't want to be in. Full disad. They own the point. It's gonna be tough. Notice they just have a scout capping, like the Uber comes through. We're like, all right, well, we have to hold this. So even though they're still Ubered, we call the collapse over by the point. And somehow it works out. Like, I guess everyone just hit their shots. Our soldier bomb was really good. Like, absolute miracle we're able to end up on top in that situation. And now they come in through. The soldier is gonna get the kill on me because our scouts are trying to not let them cap. Like, it's just, yeah. And that's a GG. There was a 1-1 round in there that I didn't show because I don't have the demo for it because of all the server crashes and whatnot. But yeah, that product was pretty rough to watch. Our coordination just kind of like was off. I felt like oftentimes just like combo and flank were just on different pages, which I think is just something consistent with most teams. It's hard to coordinate between the two. But yeah. If I could do it again differently, I mean, definitely just like, I don't know. Their soldiers were just so effective at killing me. And our soldiers were not able to do the same, which I don't know if there's a fix to that. I think it's just saying like, hey, be aware that these soldiers are bombing towards the end of fights to clean us up. But other than that, maybe you learned something, maybe not. I didn't really learn anything because I'm not really sure how to fix that, but hopefully that was helpful. I would have uploaded the VOD of the match itself, but I actually didn't record it because I was playing on a laptop. Because I was traveling unexpectedly at the time. So maybe that kind of comes to play into why I was dying so much, because I wasn't as aware because I was on like 60 FPS or whatever instead of like 150 normally. But maybe that's cope. I don't know. Hopefully you enjoyed. That's kind of been the last of the bungalow alert. Yeah, it was a good run. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring it into playoffs.
just the regular season. All right. Well, have a good night. Bye.